Hey Grand Adventurers, welcome back. I'm your host, Mark Guido. And we're spending this week camped on a beautiful spot on the shoreline of Woodward Reservoir outside of Modesto, California. We're here for 4 nights and 3 days, which is a lot shorter than our normal stay. And those 3 days happen to coincide with work days for me. Nevertheless, we're going to do our best to share as much as we can around this area. So stay tuned. Woodward Reservoir is a man-made lake in regional Stanislaus County Park, located near Oakdale, California, northeast of Modesto. The park covers more than 3,700 acres of land, while the surface of the reservoir covers another 2,900 acres. The reservoir is used for recreation, including boating, camping, and fishing, and also serves as a drinking water source for several nearby cities. As such, activities like swimming are restricted at certain times due to its role as a drinking water source, including during our late October visit. A number of campgrounds along the shoreline offer both tent and RV camping. We're in the Muir Point campground, a small 20-site loop of 50-amp full hookup campsites that are reservable for $60 per night. The bird songs here are incredible, and with only 2 other campers during our visit, there's been little to hear besides prolific songbirds and Canada geese flying overhead. We've watched herons working the shoreline. The Stanislaus Audubon Society lists Woodward Reservoir as a prime location for birding. And Mrs. Grand Adventure is positively thrilled that this place is overrun with feral cats. Woodward Reservoir is surrounded by the rich farmlands of Stanislaus County, the 6th most productive farming county in California, led by almonds, milk, chicken, walnuts, and corn silage. Soils here are ideal for building sprawling orchards. Oakdale, population 23,000, is the nearest town to Woodward Reservoir, referred to by the slogan, Cowboy Capital of the World. The city was founded in 1871 when the Stockton and Visalia Railroad met the Copperopolis Railroad and was nominated for an award for having the most almond trees per capita per square mile in the state of California. As might be expected, the Oakdale economy centers on agriculture and food manufacturing. Hershey operated a satellite chocolate factory here until it was moved to Mexico in 2008. But ConAgra Foods still operates a Hunt's plant here, one of the largest tomato processing plants in the world. You don't need to go very far east of Oakdale, however, to see where the dramatic effect of crop irrigation in the Central Valley ends, and where broad, dry expanses of cattle ranch land begin. Arriving in California in 1849, German immigrants John Wilms and John Kappelman engaged in the hotel and butcher businesses north of here in Buena Vista, before buying up mining claims and settlers' claims until, by 1852, they had a tract of 3,600 acres. The KW brand was the first in Tuolumne County in 1852. After the death of Kappelman, Wilms carried on alone, and the ranch has been owned by the Wilms family ever since. The house is currently a California State Historical Landmark, and the family's ranching business has been around for over 150 years. The Wilms Ranch sits just outside Knights Ferry, a picturesque hamlet where John C. Fremont and Dr. William Knight, a former scout, fur trader, and physician of sorts, established a ferry crossing of the Stanislaus River. The ferry prospered, and Knight and Captain James Van Teen built a hotel and trading post near the crossing. In 1849, Knight was killed in a gunfight and was buried in an unmarked grave. The area is so quaint that the town served as filming locations for the television series Bonanza and Little House on the Prairie. It's home to the Knights Ferry Bridge, the longest covered bridge west of the Mississippi River at 330 feet. Once a toll bridge, the original structure was built in 1852. But was destroyed by a flood 10 years later and replaced by the current Howell Truss Bridge in 1863, which continued to carry vehicle traffic until 1985. The bridge sits immediately adjacent to the ruins of the Tulloch Mill. A dam upstream diverted water to a water wheel, which turned the millstones to grind wheat into flour. But before the turn of the century, Tulloch's son converted the flour mill into a hydroelectric plant that continued to provide electrical power for the surrounding countryside until 1927. We'll check out a gold rush era mining town that's straight out of the movies, as well as its historic railroad in the nearby city of Modesto, all right after we take a quick ad break, so stay tuned. Further east into the Sierra foothills, you reach the heart of California gold rush country at the unincorporated community of Jamestown. Scenes from Back to the Future Part 3, Hidalgo, Petticoat Junction, the Wild Wild West, Green Acres, Little House on the Prairie, and the Clint Eastwood film Pale Rider were all shot here. Colonel George James built a trading post here following the discovery of a 75-pound gold nugget in a creek south of town in 1848. The town's name changed several times before settling on Jamestown in honor of the colonel. Jamestown subsequently experienced growth as a center for mining, transportation, and trade throughout the gold rush years. Today, Jamestown is designated a California Historical Landmark. It's also home to Railtown 1897 State Historic Park, which preserves the Sierra Railroad's historic architecture and steam railway heritage. The entire park preserves the historic core of the original Sierra Railway of California, founded in 1897 to connect the California Central Valley near our campsite at Oakdale to the gold country here in the foothills of the Sierra Nevada. The Jamestown locomotive and rolling stock maintenance facilities are remarkably intact and continue to function much as they have for over 100 years. The Sierra Railway served the Westside Lumber Company mill at Tuolumne, as well as the Pickering Lumber Company in Standard, California. More recently, over 200 movies, TV shows, and commercials have featured Railtown and its trains that are housed in this original roundhouse built in 1910, in which provides seasonal steam and diesel-powered train rides. Everything we've shared so far lies east of our campsite. A 22-mile drive southwest from our campground, the nearby city of Modesto is home to 218,000 residents in California's San Joaquin Valley, making it the state's 19th largest municipality after its population more than doubled since 1980. Originally a stop on the Central Pacific Railroad, connecting Sacramento and Los Angeles, Modesto was founded in 1870 and named for the banker William C. Ralston. When Ralston asked that another name be found, a railroad employee exclaimed loudly in Spanish that Ralston was a modest man. The railroad company co-founder Charles Crocker then named the town Modesto in recognition of Ralston's modesty. With fields of grain, the nearby Tuolumne River for grain barges, and availability of the railroad, the town grew. Irrigation water from dams in the foothills nourished fields of vegetables and fruit and nut trees. Today, you can add vineyards to that mix, and Gallo Family Winery, the largest winery in the world, is based in Modesto. Rockabilly music originated here. Historic 10th and 11th Streets, which were the original locations of the cruising scenes featured in American Graffiti by filmmaker George Lucas, who grew up here, have been designated by the city of Modesto as the historic cruise route. This is now a tourist walk with information about Modesto's music, car, and graffiti culture. Lock those doors, however, for crime in Modesto runs above the state average, and the city ranks among the top car theft cities in the U.S. Robert McHenry, a Modesto banker, built this Victorian mansion in 1883. Following stints as a sanatorium and as an apartment building, it was purchased by winemaker Giulio Gallo, beautifully restored and given to the city. It's now a cherished piece of Modesto's past. We hope that you've enjoyed camping at Woodward Reservoir with us. Now, the reason that we're only here for 4 nights and 3 days is because we were supposed to be at Yosemite National Park this week. However, it was only after I scored a site within Yosemite at the Upper Pines Campground in Yosemite Valley that I noticed the fine print. Yes, you could have RVs up to 35 feet. However, the trailer limitation was only 24 feet. So I had to cancel our reservation and make a reservation at a site outside of the national park. In retrospect, that's probably a good thing, because the government shutdown is taking place right now, and I've been reading about how squatters have been taking other people's reserved campsites within the national park. So we're going to move for the remaining 3 days this week to get closer to Yosemite. Still over an hour's drive outside the national park, but it'll still give us the opportunity to film inside Yosemite for next week's Grand Adventure. So if you're not yet a Grand Adventurer yourself, there is no better time than right now for you to go smash that little subscribe button right down there in the lower right-hand corner of your screen. And ring that notification bell to be sure that you never miss a Grand Adventure, which we premiere right here every Wednesday evening. We'd be honored if you shared the channel with your friends, family, and on social media. It is extremely important to us that if you enjoyed this episode from Woodward Reservoir, please be sure to give us a huge thumbs up down below. And while you're down below, that's where you'll find the comments section where we'd love to hear from you each and every week. So until next Wednesday from Yosemite, please remember, life is nothing but a grand adventure. We'll see you then.